Welcome back to the Anti-Fragile Mindset podcast. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been learning something new and you feel really outside your comfort zone? It feels foreign, impossible, and you found yourself thinking, I should be better than this. I should be able to handle this. Why can't I do it? Maybe you've even done it before, but all of a sudden you're struggling. Maybe your coach made a technical adjustment. Maybe everyone else seems to be getting it faster than you. And suddenly, what started as learning becomes frustration, then embarrassment, then self-doubt. And before long, you're no longer focused on learning the skill. You're focused on judging yourself. You're focused on how others might be judging you. If you've ever felt that way, today's the episode for you. I'm your host, Christine Reeves-Bolesny, high-performance mindset coach, figure skating coach, former professional show skater, and author of the book, Glitz and Grit, Beyond the Spotlight. Today, we're talking about one of the biggest mindset traps in skating, mistaking awkwardness for failure. And by the end of this episode, I want you to see awkwardness in a completely different way. But before we get started, if you're enjoying these conversations, please like, subscribe, and share this episode with another skater, coach, or parent, and leave a comment below. It helps more people discover these mindset tools. Let's jump in. The trap. One of the biggest mistakes athletes make is believing that if they're talented, learning should be smooth. It should look smooth and feel relatively easy. That improvement should happen quickly. That learning should improve at the same speed as their fellow competitors and teammates. Or that because they've executed a skill or element before, they should be able to do it every time. But skating doesn't work that way. And learning doesn't work that way either. In fact, most growth looks messy before it looks impressive. The problem isn't that learning feels awkward. The problem is the meaning we assign to that awkwardness. And many skaters experience awkwardness and immediately think, I'm failing. I'm not good enough. I should be farther ahead. I'm falling behind. But what if awkwardness isn't evidence that you're failing? What if it's simply feedback that you're learning something new? I remember feeling this very clearly when I first began pair skating. It was my first year touring with Holiday on Ice, and I had to learn lifts and pair elements that rotated the opposite direction to my own natural rotating direction. It was opposite to my jumping direction and my spinning direction, because that's what my partner had to learn with his old partner. I didn't have a coach. It was just me and my partner. Thank goodness he was an experienced and exceptional lifter as a pair skater. But for me, everything felt awkward. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't make it look as flawless and as confident as the other pair skaters we toured with. Before each show, we had practice ice with skaters who'd competed at World and Olympic Championships. And there I was standing on the same ice as them. I often felt completely out of my league. I became consumed with thoughts about how we looked compared to the other pair skaters. I still remember hearing the word disaster used to describe our pair skating from one of the Olympian pair teams. And that word, that feeling, stayed with me for years. And the more I worried about what others were thinking, the more mistakes I made, and the slower my improvement. Instead of staying present and allowing my body time to learn these new lifts and spins and in directions I wasn't used to, I became anxious, tight, and sometimes even shaky. My attention was pulled in every direction, except the one place it needed to be, the learning process. Looking back now, nothing was really wrong. I wasn't failing, I was learning. But I was so focused on how awkward I looked, our skating looked, and what everyone else was thinking that I couldn't see the growth that was happening underneath. The lifts weren't holding me back. My fear of looking not good enough, of being incapable, judged as less than, while learning them. That's what was holding me back. And I share more of these stories from my years touring with Holiday on Ice, with Torval and Dean, Disney, and many other shows in my book, Glitz and Grit, Beyond the Spotlight. And it's available through Indigo, Barnes & Noble, and on my website, christinereeves.ca. If you enjoy the book, please leave a review and share it with friends and colleagues. One of the phrases you'll hear me say often on this podcast is, awkward isn't failure, it's feedback. Mistakes aren't failure, they're feedback. Think about that for a moment. Every time you fall learning a jump, that's feedback. Every time you struggle with a new spin position, your body's giving you feedback. Every correction from your coach, every score from a judging panel, feedback to what you can do better next time. Not failure, not rejection, not proof that you aren't talented. Feedback on how to grow. Information about what needs attention. Information about what needs improvement. And that information can help you grow into the athlete you are capable of becoming. The athletes who improve fastest aren't necessarily the most talented, but they're the ones who learn how to use feedback without turning it into judgment about themselves. Because feedback is information, and information helps you reach your goals. It's not identity. So let's jump into some protocols that'll help you. Protocol 1, change the question. The next time something isn't working, listen carefully to the question you're asking yourself. Many ask, why can't I do this? The question immediately creates frustration and self-doubt. So instead of asking that question, try asking, what is this trying to teach me? What did I feel that I can correct? Now you're approaching the situation like a learner instead of a critic or a judge. Maybe it's teaching timing. Maybe it's coaching patience. Maybe it's coaching your own body awareness. And maybe it's teaching resilience. But every repetition has information. And information is how progress happens. Information that helps the mind and body work together to learn that new thing. Determination and resilience is what is necessary to persevere to make it great. Protocol number 2, the feedback rep. When frustration starts building, stop chasing perfection. And we all know that feeling of frustration, the discouragement or anger or feelings of helplessness and even hopelessness. Instead, challenge yourself to find one piece of useful feedback in every attempt. Not success, not perfection. Feedback. After each attempt, ask, what did that rep just teach me? What went well? What can I adjust or tweak? This keeps your attention on learning rather than judging. And when athletes stay in learning mode, they improve faster and their confidence grows and increases. And for parents, one of the greatest gifts you can give your skater or athlete is helping them separate performance from identity. Maybe instead of asking, how did you skate today? Try asking, what did you enjoy most today? Or, what was one good thing that happened today? Or even, what are you most proud of from today's practice? Those questions help young athletes focus on more than just outcomes, because skating is bigger than a jump. It's bigger than a score. It's bigger than a single practice. The athletes who stay connected to enjoyment, growth, learning are often the athletes who stay in the sport long enough to discover what they're truly capable of. And for coaches, we have an incredible opportunity to shape how athletes interpret feedback. When introducing new skills, remind athletes that awkwardness is expected. Normalize the struggle. Normalize the mistakes. Normalize the learning curve. Because when athletes stop fearing feedback or that frustrated look in the face of their coach, they become more coachable, more willing to explore difficult skills. They begin to embrace the discomfort because they know they are confident in what all their hard work will produce, a new skill executed well. And coachable athletes grow. So if this episode resonated with you, leave a comment below and tell me, what skills are you currently learning that feels really awkward right now? And if you're looking for more mindset tools and protocols, visit my website at christinereeves.ca/freebies. There you'll find free resources for skaters, coaches, and parents. And if you'd like personalized support, I offer a free 20-minute coaching consultation. Contact me at christinereeves.ca/coaching or email me at info@christinereeves.ca. So in closing today, I want you to remember two things. First, awkward isn't failure, it's feedback. And second, feedback is information, it's not identity. The athletes who thrive aren't the ones who avoid mistakes. They're the ones who learn from them. Every great performance started with an athlete who was willing to look awkward while they learned. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm Christine Reeves-Bolesne, and this is the Anti-Fragile Mindset. Stay coachable, stay resilient. Keep building your anti-fragile mindset, and I'll see you next week.